Welcome to our next topic, waste management. As important as it is to conserve what nature is giving us, to use it in a sustainable way, to optimally utilize it, it's also important to reduce a few things. The three R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. First of all, target should be taken to reduce waste. We studied in our previous topic about energy conservation. In that, I also mentioned about minimally wasting energy. But then there are certain waste products that are being generated. So when something is being generated and is called waste, means it's not useful unless it falls into the category of reusing and recycling. The waste must be managed so as to not cause a nuisance for the environment. In this topic, before we go ahead, I'd like to tell you about a few types of wastes. But before that, let's understand the meaning of waste management. Waste management is a comprehensive term that embodies a multitude of actions and processes which are aimed at ensuring that the waste is efficiently handled and disposed of, promoting a healthier environment, of course, and protecting public health. Again, the three E's: ecology, economy, and ethics. It encompasses the strategic coordination of activities involving the collection, transportation. Now, waste, let's say waste is generated at our home, the dustbin waste. Now, the strategic coordination of activities that would come under the topic of waste management would be the collection from our homes, the transportation, carrying it from our homes, our localities to the dumping place. How you are carrying it by not spreading those pollutants into the air. The treatment, what happens in those dumping grounds for the treatment, and what is not treated, disposal of the same. So all this coordination of activities with the overarching aim of aligning these processes with the principles of sustainability and environmental conservation. The principle has to remain same. Why are we doing waste management? Why are we studying this course module? For sustainable living. So why will we do waste management again? To come in alignment with sustainability, to come in alignment with environmental conservation. Central to waste management is the concept of recycling and resource recovery. Now, as important as it is to recycle a few things, it's also important to recover the resource. We studied this in our previous topic. This facet involves the conversion of waste materials into reusable resources, driving sustainability and mitigating the depletion ko kam karna of natural resources. It plays a pivotal role in waste hierarchy, encouraging the maximum of value extraction from waste. Now, not all waste is just useless. It's not. You need to extract value to the maximum that you can from the waste and promote the reintroduction of it into economic cycle. We will also study about something called circular economy. Keep this on a hold, but know that when I make you study circular economy, this is something that you need to keep in mind. Before we study the need of waste management, let's do a little bit study about Types could be municipal waste. Municipal waste is gathered from our houses. It could be household waste. It could be when you are cleaning the streets, street sweeping waste. Now, when you collect this waste, household waste most importantly, ideally we as aware citizens should be disposing waste in different colored bins. We should be using different bins for biodegradable plastics, non-biodegradable, medical waste. So there must be segregation first of all at the source. Then based on this segregation we further can go into processes of composting, recycling, or if nothing can be done, we have to make good sanitary landfills away from residential areas, right? The second type of waste that could be is from the hospitals or the laboratories where injections are used, syringes are used, flasks are used, biomedical waste, gloves are used, right? It includes waste from hospitals, clinics, could include syringes, body fluids, bandages, etc. Now, biomedical waste, as we see over here, is comparatively more hazardous than the municipal waste. So, when something is more hazardous, you cannot possibly go and dump it in a landfill. It is a threat to the animals that might come and try to feed on it. It is a threat to the seeping effects it might have on the localities nearby, to the soil in general. So such waste is incinerated. It's usually thrown in an incinerator and destroyed. And then for the next type we have electronic waste. In electronic waste what comes is, so when you buy a new computer, you throw away your old computer. You buy a new phone, you throw away your old phone. You buy a new TV, you throw away your old TV. And something when we studied, if you remember pictorically, we studied about soil pollution. We saw that old batteries were thrown into the soil. So all of this forms a part of e-waste. Now you can't throw a big computer into an incinerator and expect it to incinerate it. No. There are authorized kabadi walas that come in localities. They take away paper, such e-waste, loha, and often plastics as well. So e-waste is also given mostly to the authorized recyclers and dismantlers. These authorized recyclers and dismantlers are the people responsible for the safe disposal of e-waste. Coming next, type of waste, not delete, just a second. The next type of waste we have is the fourth type. The first was the municipal waste. The second was the biomedical hospital waste, BMW. The third was e-waste that we just studied, old computers, old phones. The fourth now that we have is industrial waste. Probably one of the most heavily waste producing units the industries are. What they produce, they don't produce something biodegradable mostly, or worthy of incineration or worthy of recycling. They mostly produce chemical waste. They mostly discard metal waste and sludge, which is often thrown into the water bodies. Now, the waste that is generated, unlike the previous forms, cannot be segregated, cannot be composted, cannot be recycled, cannot be dismantled. So, what can be done is that before discharging such a waste into the environment, we must do an on site treatment. This on site treatment is very important before releasing it into the environment, because otherwise these wastes are mostly hazardous in nature and will be very fatal for humans' life. India, it's not a very nice fact, but something we should know, that India's hazardous waste generation is approx 7.9 million tons per year, with only 44% that is recyclable, meaning thereby the remaining 56% is non-recyclable. Once we know that this waste is harmful, the industrial waste, there must be on-site treatment for the same. The next is agricultural waste. Mostly is and should be dealt on site again, and should fall under the biodegradable category, and dealt with again in ways like segregation, composting, recycling, reusing, reducing. We will be studying this in detail right now. Don't get worried about the same. Alright, so moving ahead, the need. Once we know the types of waste that has been generated, we know why, how to do. Now we need to know why to do. The why for any good thing that we want to do for the environment will have the same answers everywhere. Environment protection, you need to learn it by heart now. Economic benefits, ecological balance, conservation of resources, sustainable development, public health, and something that's not mentioned here but you should now know, ethical or moral responsibility. The need for waste management. You need to protect the environment, you need to restore the economic benefits, you need to sustainably grow, you need to have an ecological balance, your own public health, and the ethics that are important. The 3 E's that we learned like earlier: economy, ecology, and ethics. Right? Now, waste management ways that we were talking about when we started just right now, the different types of waste that is being generated. Now we'll study about the ways in which waste management can be done. Segregation, I mentioned, composting, and recycling. Segregation, like I said, when in our households also, let's start from kitchen waste. The kitchen waste is all organic. केले के छिलके, सब्जियों के छिलके, कटी हुई सब्जियां, पुराने हुए fruits, everything. It's all organic waste. Kitchen waste. And this should not really also be thrown out with the garbage that you give away. It should be something you use in your own composting, which is something I'll tell you about after this. And then e-waste, we studied old TVs, laptops, calculators, everything is your e-waste. Plastic waste also we know. Metallic waste also I just told you. Old broken metal that we cannot use in these tins. The old wrenches that have broken. Glass. Again, disposal needs to be careful, because animals often feed on the food that is found in these garbage bins. So you need to dispose of glass really carefully to not hurt any animal unintentionally. Paper, often picked up by the authorized recyclers. Segregation. Now, waste segregation benefits. Now, segregating this waste in all these different forms benefits the recycling chain. नहीं तो इमेजिन करो किसी के लिए कितना मुश्किल होगा, आपने सारा कूड़ा एक ही जगह में फेंक दिया, ई वेस्ट, कंप्यूटर एक जगह फेंका हुआ है उसको तोड़ के, अखबारें पुरानी वहीं फेंकी हुई हैं, ग्लास वहीं पे है, सब्जियों के छिलके वहीं पे हैं, किसी के लिए कितना मुश्किल होगा उसको किसी चीज़ को अलग से रिसाइकल करना. So segregation benefits the recycling processes. It boosts the economy, reduces pollution. Additionally, it also protects the health of waste pickers by reducing illnesses caused by handling unsorted refuse. Proper segregation is critical for public health, especially when dealing with hazardous waste, requiring proper and safe disposal to avoid long-term health problems. Segregation in this form is therefore very important. Also for animal welfare. Right? Next, recycling. The 3 R's. Recycle, reuse, reduce. Recycle. We studied it over here also. Let me highlight it for you. It's an important concept. Central to the waste management is the concept of recycling, conversion of waste materials into reusable resources, driving sustainability and mitigating depletion of natural resources. It plays a pivotal role in waste hierarchy, encouraging the maximum utilization of value extraction from waste material and promoting their reintroduction into the economic cycle. So recycling is very central to the concept of waste management. Recycling transforms it's like giving life to something you had thrown in the dustbin. It transforms waste into wonder. Involves the processing of waste materials into new reusable products, breathing new life into the items that would otherwise be discarded. Recycling promotes utilization of resources and mitigating the impact on landfills. It fosters a cycle of usage and reuse, minimizing waste and championing sustainability. Now, what can be recycled? Paper, clothes, something as nice as jute is a very good concept, right? So we must recycle. Cardboard, something that we should really avoid. Big no. Composting. I mentioned over here about the organic waste of the kitchen. we can study about composting now. Composting is also called organic recycling, a natural process where organic waste, as you can see over here, purani sabziyan, purane gale hoye fruits, vegetables that have gotten bad and stale, raw eggs that have gone stale. So where the organic waste is converted into a nutrient rich conditioner for the soil. This is a very good this is a very good substitute for all these things. Organic compost. It is a practice that embodies sustainability, turning waste into a valuable resource, enhancing soil fertility, and इससे soil की fertility भी बढ़ती है, and promotes the healthy growth of plants, underscoring a harmonious connection to nature cycle. Because using this organic compost is going to promote various nutrient cycles, because we are going to be using less chemicals. So all of this is how we can do waste management. These are things we can do at home. These are things that have a huge impact. These are things that can do all these wonders, and these are things that we should be doing. With this, I end this topic with a hope that we will do nothing that hampers sustainable development and do our bit to promote sustainable living.